As we all know, the iPhone 12 series are the newest and greatest flagships from Apple, and they are claiming that these phones are the most powerful and feature-packed smartphones available right now. As reviews of the new iPhone have already been flooded on your newsfeed, and probably you are already watching this video on your brand new iPhone 12, but among so many positive reviews and specs, one question may arise in some people's minds. Is the iPhone 12 series really that much powerful? And what Apple is trying to claim, are they really true? Well, we think that you don't know the whole picture behind the scenes. So let's see what are the things that you should know before getting any iPhone 12 series. First of all is its display. Apple is now providing 4 different screen sizes, starting with the 5.4-inch display on the 12 minis to a massive 6.7-inch display on the Pro Max. And you might already know that all of the iPhones are now offering OLED displays compared to previous versions, but the main catch is they are only 60Hz panels. Can you imagine only 60Hz displays in 2020? Are you for real, Apple? Earlier in November 2017, the first generation of Razr phones was the first smartphone to bring a 120Hz refresh rate display on the table. Yeah, we got that. It's a gaming phone. But now, almost all other smartphone makers are giving it as a standard feature, particularly with their flagship series. If not 120Hz, the 90Hz at least are what they are providing. Even the Chinese manufacturers like Xiaomi and Nubia have started implementing high refresh rates on their smartphones as well, where Apple, the big tech giant, is still stuck with the backdated 60Hz displays. We're not saying that it's a bad display or a deal breaker, obviously, but the thing is, what Apple is offering with that price tag, others had it already, even with higher specs. It really did put us in a confusing state. To grab the iPhone, is worth it or not? Now onto the notch and bezel size. It's not a new thing that Apple is housing its same old Face ID with all the other sensors and cameras in its big ugly notch. And from the very beginning of iPhone 10, they are maintaining the same display design in iPhone 11 and now in the latest iPhone 12 as well. So no change at all in that department. Like, why, Apple? On top of that, the new iPhones have comparatively larger bezels around its screens, and if you compare it to the latest Samsung Note 20 Ultra, it's got an amazing 91% screen-to-body ratio, which not only looks great to the eyes, but also feels really good on hands. Because of this screen-to-body ratio kind of thing, the newest iPhones may still feel outdated in front of your eyes. Although for those who have gotten used to it, might not find it an issue, but new users who are getting into Apple's ecosystem with the new iPhones might find it a bit disturbing. Unlike Apple, other giant smartphone manufacturers are going with water drop notches or punch hole camera systems like Samsung, and many are going with pop-up selfie cameras and even testing under display cameras to achieve a 100% screen-to-body ratio. After repetitive 3 versions of the same old display design, you would hardly even recognize which model of iPhone you are using on your hand. We think Apple should and must now flip their cards to bring some innovations in this department. And if they don't, they're going to lose users as other manufacturers are moving ahead. Not only that, it also hinders the user's overall experience by biting into the screen when going full screen. Now if we talk about their design, there is no innovation either. Design-wise, this year Apple decided to go back into the golden days of Steve Jobs, and thus they brought back the boxy-shaped design of the old iPhone 4 and the 4S, which was released back in 2011. Although the 4S was one of the best looking designs and the 5S was the most popular iPhone among their fans that Apple introduced, we still think Apple could have come up with something more innovative with a whole new design or something, which is completely normal from a tech ideal giant like Apple. Guess we have to wait for another year and see what Apple has to offer next. Now on to the most important part, and we believe you might have guessed it already, still no USB-C port. I mean, come on, Apple. In 2018, the iPad Pro switched to the USB-C. So what if it was meant to be a laptop alternative? We wanted that same alternative for the iPhone as well. Everyone knows that as one connector does all kind of thing. But still, no. And on top of that, in 2019, when Apple announced to launch their iPhone 11 Pro model, everyone had thought, yeah, This time, Apple's gonna give the Type-C port, as the MacBook Pro and iPad Pro just had the USB-C port, right? Well, it turns out, no. And still no in 2020, making it the biggest troll of the decade. To make things even worse, Apple just decided that they will not ship any charging brick nor any earpods in the box with the new iPhone 12s. Which is kind of a bummer, as finding the perfectly compatible charger for your device from an ocean of Apple accessories can be a daunting task. Apple also gave a smart explanation too. According to them, this move was decided to consume fewer raw materials for each iPhone sold. And for this, they will have a smaller retail box, meaning 70% more units can fit on a single shipping pellet, which is going to reduce electrical wastes and carbon emissions and blah blah blah. I mean, who cares? As everyone is paying for a full package, they should provide with everything. Besides, the only thing that they're going to give is the USB-C to C port. And even if we followed with their saying, it's actually not going to work, as most of us have the old USB-A adapter. So ultimately, we need to purchase another charging brick and cable as well. On the other hand, everyone was expecting Apple to give a fast charging brick, and instead, they removed it completely. Seriously, Apple? Now let's talk about its camera department. Although they have upgraded the rear camera, but they did not touch a single bit on their front camera sensors. They are still showing the same 12 megapixel sensor from the previous generation in the iPhone 12. It's not a bad thing though, and it can capture some amazing selfies. But who doesn't want new tech, right? Thus, we were hoping to see a bit of an upgrade in the selfie department, which could bring some spiciness into the game. So after all of the reviews we have seen so far and all the comparisons, it's no surprise that Apple is not an innovative company anymore. And they used to be an icon of innovations while bringing newest technologies among smartphone industries. After all, they are the biggest tech giant, and if they don't want to lose their customers, then just refreshing their older models is not going to work anymore. And about upgrading your phone, well, if you already have an iPhone 7 or 8, then you might have a peek on the iPhone 12 series. But if you already own the iPhone 11 or even the iPhone 10, it's hard to recommend, as it might not be that much of an upgrade comparing the price tags they are asking. But don't take it the wrong way, as here we have just given our personal opinions that may or may not go with your thoughts. It's now totally up to you whether you want to go for it or wait another year to see what Apple will bring next. If you liked what you saw, then hit the like button and share with your friends. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos like this on your feed.